This is Roots en Route.
First, I just walked here on the island, and especially from you, I'm really interested in the musical heritage. The project is about crossing borders, and one of the universal languages of the world is music. Can you explain a little bit more about the musical heritage from St. Maarten and the Caribbean?
Wow, now you might put me in hot water. It goes deep, and in St. Maarten, because we're so diverse, I think we would have to go way back. At one point in time, there was a historical group called Tanya and the Boys. It was more of a string band with the banjos and the string guitars and so forth, of those style of instruments. Then later on, I know that what we call rhythm music or soca music, or some would say small island music, started to become a popular thing back in the days. But then, of course, there was the calypso or calypso music. You had the legends that I know growing up were the Mighty Dows. You had Timo, Bratz, Bobo. Those were some of the legendary calypsonians who also sang Road March, which is more of a, up-tempo, rhythm-driven type of sound. And then later on, St. Maarten, again, diverse, so there was also blends of dancehall and reggae that came into play. There was, and I could only imagine going back further, at certain points, rock music or disco and this. I grew up actually listening to hip-hop music, falling in love with hip-hop music. And then later on, I transitioned and started to fall in love with soca music, and that is where I made more of a name within the soca element, the soca genre. But St. Maarten has always been a melting pot. Just the same way it's a melting pot with the people, it has always been a melting pot with the music. But we've had some phenomenal artists that came before and that definitely left a stamp out there, like, again, the Mighty Dow with his rumba song. You had bands like the Youth Waves with Follow the Leader. And the list goes on and on. Legends of St. Maarten that paved the way for the next generation and the next wave of artists, such as myself, to have a platform and, leave our own little imprint on the scene.
And for the people that don't know you yet, can you explain a little bit about your music, about your lyrics and the themes you create in your work?
Yeah. Well, as I said before, prior to becoming King Verse, I used to go by the name of Versatile and then Versatweezy, trying to find my own identity again. As a young man, there was a struggle to find that identity, because coming from a home where my mom is Dominican, my dad is from Anguilla, but I was born in St. Maarten. I came from a little broken home, so the TV was my little gateway. So I was influenced by hip hop and American music. So you're trying to find that identity. You're speaking, you're yanking like an American, but you've never spent more than 2 weeks vacation in the States. So, it was like and a lot of young men and young women possibly go through those, struggles in the beginning when you're trying to find your musical style. It wasn't until later on, having conversations with other artists and DJs from abroad and so forth, that you started to more look within and discover, who am I? And question myself, like, who am I? What is my identity? I am a Caribbean man. I am an islander. I am from St. Maarten. I have an accent, and I am proud of my accent. Therefore, I should sing with my accent and not try to camouflage it, not try to sound like I'm from England or from the USA. And that is when I started to find more of my identity. And I started to fall in love with soca music, because it's a music that it's a festive music. It's a music of just pure enjoyment and dancing and togetherness and friendships and love. And when I went into that element, that became the magic. And then, of course, certain platforms were created. The soca rumble shows were created. And my music it's a mixture still, because I came from the hip hop and listening to R&B, I'm a lyricist at heart. So just singing about jumping up and dancing is not enough for me. I really love to touch on life topics and, to try to keep a broad base of topics and things that you can touch on, because we live in this huge, beautiful world where every day I won't wake up feeling festive. Some days I might have a bad day and I need a song that will speak to me and get me through that day. And my music encompasses all of that.